Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Awakened Souls podcast. I'm your host, Devin Brown, a Kundalini activator, spiritual guide, mentor, and hopefully just a great source of entertainment for you. Let's get ready to dive in. Hello. I hope everybody is doing well on this lovely Monday. So here we are. We are in March, a couple days shy of March 1st, but I know I spoke a little bit about this on my social media. I spoke a little bit about it on my Instagram. I am still staying off of posting regularly. I'm doing my own integrative work, but going into March, we have a huge energy shift, a huge energy update. So much has changed, and I want to give you guys an opportunity to know what that is and know what it is that you're looking at. So going into March, we are actually seeing a integration that we have not seen in thousands of years. And I'm being very serious when I say it's almost like a line is being drawn in the sand. And over the course of the next several years, people are going to have a choice that they have to make. They either are going to wake up or they are going to stay asleep. Choose the light, choose the dark. It's kind of like sides are being forced to be chosen. And what do I mean by this? So we are going to start seeing an integration of spiritual beings and energies where you are actually going to be able to tangibly see things that were not visible on this plane before, that point to the spiritual, point to the supernatural, point to the fact that we are more than just human, that we are living in a multidimensional world, in a multidimensional universe, in a multidimensional energetic simulation. So what the fuck does that mean? Especially if you are coming from a place where you have no idea what you're thinking about, where to go, like any of this. So let's go ahead and give some examples on a fresh state. So a lot of people who have supernatural gifting seem almost like, wow, I can't believe they can do that. Like, for an example, someone who can see auras, who can see ghosts. People pay money to go to psychic mediums, to have tarot card readings done, all of this stuff. And those are still okay things to do. Like, it's okay to go to someone who is gifted in certain areas. However, the spiritual is going to be in plain sight, but it's also going to be almost hidden in plain sight. But you can see it if you choose to look, or you're going to choose to ignore. But it's going to be one or the other. I'm going to give a couple tangible examples of things that have happened to me recently, along with things that have happened to people that I know. And maybe if you've experienced it, I would love to hear about it in the comments or through email. Just let me know. And it's something to have a conversation about. So it is not a coincidence, I'll just state this, that NASA is now talking about extraterrestrial life, and that suddenly, like, it was just kind of like, oh, look, this is normal. Like, let's just put it out there. But the reason behind that is because they knew that we were entering this energetic vibration as well, where they weren't going to have a choice. They weren't going to be able to hide these things anymore. The other day, I was with my counterpart, and we were talking about being able to see things in the spiritual and the physical. And both of us, like, actually most Kundalini, I've talked about this in other podcast episodes. For those of you who are new, a Kundalini is those of us who are spiritual beings. We are not human in the essence of when the first human was created. We are spiritual beings. We do not exist primarily on this plane. We came down for human experience, specifically to help you guys transition into this new vibration and into this new change. There's a lot of us out there who have woken up in the past 5 years and are now not afraid and being vocal about what it is that we can do, who it is that we are, etc. So that is a Kundalini. It is someone who is a spiritual being or entity here for a human experience. This can range from an angel, if you want to call them angels, star seeds, light worker. Some people are fairies. Some people come from Atlantean times. Some people come from Pleiadian lines and Arcturian lines. All of these things that you may be like, I have no idea what she just said. And that's not what's important. What is important is the fact that you are going to start having some things come into play in your life that may not make sense, or might just seem a little bit more than coincidence, or might just fall into line where It's way more than you've ever seen before. So me and my spiritual counterpart, we were talking about this, and we were talking about the shift and the change. And he's sitting there and he's doing yoga. Like, he goes into the, what is it, like not the rag doll, but where you're like half up, half down. Like your body is just in this folded over position. And as he's doing this, like, the lights behind us, and I said, that is the perfect example. Stop. Do not move. I went and grabbed my camera, made sure he was in the same position, because on the wall, you could see his body bent over. And then you could see in the shadow, the wings, the auric wings that I can see on people who are Kundalini, that I can see on people who are star seeds or angels, are literally like there, invisible in the shadow on the wall. This is something that I posted on my TikTok. If you're interested in seeing it, you can just scroll down. I think the post was made on like February 27th or around that time. So just look for that date and you'll be able to see that. It's To the Awakened Souls. That's my TikTok. I posted the pictures of that along with this next example that I'm going to share, but we'll start with this first. So if we weren't looking, if we weren't talking about this, if I wasn't willing to be open to the magic, I could have missed that amazing, undeniable opportunity of the spiritual clashing into the 3D world. Another example, I had an energetic client I was working with, and to be honest, I was tapped out. I probably shouldn't have done as much that day as I had done. I did not fill myself up as much, which is one of the reasons why, because of this situation, I am making sure that I am taking the time to set my boundaries to fill myself up, and I'm not going to ever give from an empty cup again. But I left feeling just this heaviness, almost like I hitchhiked and took in too much. And there are times when I'm working with people energetically, if there's a bit of something inside of them that I just can't quite get out, but they're ready to release it, I will sometimes transmute it into a different energy, absorb it, and then remove it from myself in a different way. This is a gifting that I have. It's something that I do. I don't do that for a lot of people. I have to know what the energy is. But this was something that I took on not wanting to take on. So therefore, it was not welcome in my presence. It was not welcome in my energetic field. And I got home. It's February, mind you. Walking into my house, and there's this beautiful white moth on the window by my door. And for me, moths have always been a being and a guide that is there in order to just bring me messages and be a pure example of spiritual. Like, they can flit from so many different dimensions and so many different things. So my guides like to use moths to just let me know, like, hey, we got you. And so I arrived home. I was planning on doing an energetic cleansing and just really like diving deep to see like what this feeling was that I knew wasn't mine. So I get inside and I take a picture of this moth to send to my counterpart. And I was like, look, I'm about to do my detox, but look what I came home to. I had this beautiful guide waiting for me. So I guess my guide sent reinforcements, kind of making a joke. And he responds back, Devin, zoom in on your shoulder. It might look cute, but don't let it in. And sure enough, if you zoom in, the reflection of the glass, you can see eyes looking out from my heart chakra area, like what goes from the heart chakra into the shoulders, which like we carry the weight of other people in our shoulders. And I was carrying someone else's weight. And you can see this form and this figure in this face in the reflection that was not human, was not animalistic. I do have a cat. Just going to share, it was not my cat. She actually had knocked over my glass water bottle on the table while I was in the process of getting stuff together for being home. So I know for sure she was not right there. It was not her reflection. This was a spiritual being that I captured via reflection. And for those of you who want to see that, it's all on the same post. Go look at it on my TikTok. But we are going to be having situations like this happen over and over again. So what do we do? Like, it's not something to be scared of, guys. These energies, these things have been here with us this entire time. It's not like we suddenly jumped into a new dimension and suddenly we have all of these entities and beings. But those of us who choose to activate our spiritual gifts, those of us who choose to step into our calling, those of us who choose to allow our highest self to come down and be the embodiment of who we were meant to be, those of us who choose to break conditioning and say this far and no more with generational curses, those of us who choose to grow and to activate our magic are going to be able to tangibly see these things. This is not something that is able to hide anymore. This is not something to fear. This is not something to be afraid of. It's always been there, but now we can have a more conscious effort and a more conscious idea of, okay, I see something on this person that I never saw before. They always made me feel a little bit weird being around them, but I did it anyway because they're family, or I did it anyway because we've known each other for a long time, or I did it anyway because, the sunken ship fallacy, you inserted too much energy into this. So with this new dimensional shift where we're going to be able to see things, we're also going to see relationships changing. And the reason we're going to see relationships changing is because those of us who are awakened, those of us who are moving forward, are no longer going to want those negative energies coming at us every day on a normal basis. We're no longer going to want to interact. It doesn't make us better than them. And in fact, we are able to shine our light and give it to them when they are at a place to receive. But it is going to make us aware of where we are leaking our energy in a place that doesn't deserve it. Because that is something that we do a lot of the times. We see the potential of someone and we pour into them and we pour into them because maybe by pouring into them, we find value. Maybe by pouring into them, we feel good. Maybe by pouring into them, we feel like we're important, or we feel like we can change them or we can help them. I'm here to tell you guys, you cannot change anyone but yourself, period. I don't care what kind of future faking they do, which is where they talk about future things, talk about future goals, talk about future life. If they are not making the steps to actively change themselves, they are not going to change. So all you can do is take this new gifting, take these new energies and decide, okay, I want to surround myself with people who are of light, people who are of body, people who are of spirit. And the beautiful part of this, guys, is you're going to be able to see the beauty. You're going to be able to see the light. You're going to be able to see the angels. You're going to be able to see all of us who are here who just glow. And I know I've talked about this before. Those of us who are awake, those of us who have done the work to cleanse ourselves, those of us who are walking in our activated light bodies every day, we walk down the street and we literally turn heads. It could be in the car and people on the street will feel something and then lock eyes with us and just keep looking. I know you've probably seen someone like that before, where you just couldn't take your eyes away. There was something about that person, and not even in an attractive way, but they glowed different. You are going to be able to see that on a different level, in a spiritual level. So what does this mean? This means going forward, begin to pay attention to the little things that just seem weird. Like maybe you woke up to a different song playing that wasn't what you set your alarm to. I have an example of this actually. The other night, I woke up to a noise and I saw felt this little portal close right by my bed. And it didn't feel negative. It didn't feel evil. I was just like, okay, not dealing with that. I only have 3 more minutes probably before my alarm goes off. I had cleansed my house, purged my house. My house is guarded. Nothing evil is allowed in my house or can even get in. It's unpenetrable. So wasn't worried about it. I just knew it was probably one of my guides popping in or a fairy popping in or something like that. Well, then my alarm goes off. I always have my alarm set to play smooth, calm, Reiki healing music, wakes me up nice and peacefully. Thankfully, I was already awake because the song that started playing was the Ghostbusters song. Not even kidding. There's something strange in the neighborhood, blaring crazy loud. And I laughed and was just like, you guys are asses, because I knew it was my guides. They would just wanted me to start the day in laughter, which I appreciate. I'm thankful for. But start paying attention. Did your speaker just pop when you were talking about something specific? Did your phone glitch? Was there something happening? Don't blame technology. Don't blame the 5D towers. Don't blame this or that. Sit and think. Was that a sign? And if you don't know, ask. Was this a sign? And you will find an answer. If you are open to an answer, you will get an answer. You're either going to hear an audible yes, in your ears, you're going to hear, yes, it was, or you're going to see a picture of something that confirms it was a sign, or it's going to happen again that shows you yes, it was a sign. And if you still doubt, ask for something specific. Your guides are there to help you. One of the things you can do is, okay, guides, I really feel like you're telling me this. I really feel like I saw this. If I did, let me find maybe a rock shaped like a heart. Let me find a leaf that's red in the middle of summer when everything's green. Let me see a cardinal in the next so many minutes. Like you can do things, be a little flexible. Mind you, because energy comes and flows, like we attract, we don't chase. But if you are coming from a place like where you have no foundation, you can't be like, I expect $1,000 in my bank account if that was a sign. That's selfish. That's stupid. And that's like not even connected. Like there's no connection to that whatsoever. So be realistic is what I'm saying. But if you are feeling like, okay, I have no idea how to integrate these new energies, I have no idea what to do. My Quantum Circle, we actually just released on March 1st or on February 29th for March 1st, an activation to specifically anchor you into the vibration of not only receiving downloads that your guides are ready for, opening yourself up to the positive spirituals, but it also puts a nice protective shell over you and causes you to be anchored into this new vibration and into a space of growth and a space of healing. This is an activation, a meditation you can listen to every single day. If you are interested, follow my Linktree account, go to the Patreon site, the Kundalini Rising, and join the Quantum Circle. It's $39 a month. You can cancel anytime. You don't have to stay committed, but you not only get that activation, but you get all the other activations too prior to that. So moving into March, just know we are going to be seeing things in a tangible way. The veil is the thinnest it's ever been, and pretty much going into March, it's going to begin to tear. There's going to begin to be open gaps in this veil, unfortunately for good and bad. But like I said, they've always been there. Now we just get to see them. But it's a superpower, guys. It's not a negative thing, because now that we can see them, we get to decide if they get to stay in our lives. I was doing a meditation yesterday, and I was following some energy leakages that I had, because I did not realize I was still giving my power away to people in my past that, one, don't deserve it, two, haven't asked for it, and three, I don't want to. There's no reason for me to give when it's not being used for love and light. And so I was sitting there in the silence and following these and releasing these energetic ties and rewriting soul contracts and so forth. And my guides spoke to me very clearly. They said, sometimes you must sit in silence in order to hear the noise. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes you must sit in silence in order to hear the noise. And that sat so deep. Sometimes you don't even realize where you have been giving away your energy. Sometimes you don't even realize where you've been being used. Sometimes you don't even realize where you've been being used because you are so conditioned to it being normal. It's not going to be able to be hidden as normal for very much longer. So I want you to be open to change. I want you to be open to flow, and I want you to be open to releasing the energies that are ready to let go, so that you can continue to grow. You can continue to become who you are meant to become, and you can continue to be that light and that love and just everything in between. If you have questions, I am so happy to answer them. Please leave them in the comments. Email me at totheawakenedsouls@gmail.com. If you would like to connect with me, you can do so on my Patreon site. But also, my book is out, Kindle and paperback, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any bookstore can order the paperback. But the Kindle version, I do believe you can only get that on Amazon. And as always, I just hope you guys have a marvelous, marvelous beginning of March as we step into this magical time. And just remember, you're getting to choose if you embrace your magic or not. And I, for one, will always say yes.